Let's be honest, the places that a city has to eat are what make it unique, fun, and special. Anytime I visit a new place, one of my favorite parts is dining in the same places the locals do because they know where the best places are. This is your inside guide to what locals are eating in Mobile, Alabama. This is Moving to Mobile, and I'm your host, David Beasley. Food is probably one of the easiest things for me to talk about. In fact, this was probably the easiest script I've ever written for a YouTube video. We all know what we like, but we all have our own opinions and taste buds. This video is simply my opinions, so I hope you're forgiving of that. If we haven't met yet, my name is David Beasley. I'm a licensed realtor in the state of Alabama, so I help people like you move to Mobile every single day. I want to say thank you for checking out this video and giving me the opportunity to show you around Mobile. There are videos out there about Mobile that probably have way more views and channels that have way more subscribers, but my focus is on making the absolute best content I can so you know what it's like to live in Mobile. Now, there are a ton of restaurants in Mobile, and I wanted to keep this somewhat personal, so I didn't want to report on any that I haven't been to yet. So if you're a local watching this video, please feel free to drop some recommendations for our visitors in the comments below, because I'm sure there's plenty of great places in Mobile that I missed. This video is going to have two main parts. In the first part of this video, I'm going to explain what all of these places in Mobile are and what makes them special or not so special. In the second part of this video, I'm going to put all of these restaurants in a tier list so you can know which restaurants you can hit and which you should probably skip. I'll put timestamps in the description below so you can easily navigate between these sections. Now, obviously with Mobile size, we have all the major chain restaurants that stretch across our whole country. McDonald's, Taco Bell, Arby's, Wendy's, Subway, Five Guys. We've got them all. So today we're not going to go into any detail about those places, and they won't be included on our tier list. Most of them would probably be towards the bottom anyway, except for Five Guys. However, you can rest assured, we do have all these options. We're going to start by talking about some other food chains that aren't quite as widespread, but have made their way to the Mobile food scene. There's no better place to start than Foosackly's. Foosackly's, or Foo, is probably the most successful and impactful local restaurant in Mobile. Foosackly's is a locally loved chicken finger place, and it started right here in Mobile in the year 2000. It was founded with a focus on serving fresh, high-quality chicken fingers, and has grown to include over 20 locations in Alabama and the Panhandle of Florida. Now, they're known for their hand-breaded chicken fingers, their crispy fries, and their delicious toast, but where Foosackly's really stands out is in its house-made sauces. They make this stuff fresh daily, and people here absolutely love it. If you've ever been to Raising Cane's or maybe Zaxby's, you definitely get the idea of the type of food that's served in Foo. Their dedication to quality and consistency has made Foosackly's a very popular local favorite. Another benefit of Foo is it's a good amount cheaper than its competition. In addition to having house-made sauces, they also have house-made sweet tea, which you can buy by the gallon. This stuff almost always makes its way to our family's gatherings. Foosackly's is actually so popular in this area that some of my friends from Atlanta actually know Mobile as the home of Foosackly's. If you live in the South, don't be shocked if Foosackly's makes it to a city near you soon. Another chain that wasn't necessarily started but is enjoyed in Mobile is Chicken Salad Chick. This is a fast, casual chicken salad place which specializes in a variety of chicken salad flavors, soups, sides, and desserts. Now, it was founded in Auburn, Alabama in 2008 when its owner, Stacy Brown, started going door to door selling her chicken salad. You compare that to today, the chain has over 225 locations stretching all across the Southeast and beyond. A really neat detail about Chicken Salad Chick is that all of the chicken salad flavors are named after important women in Stacy's life. Family, friends, and mentors. This adds a really cool personal touch to the menu. From simple options like Classic Carol to spicier ones like Buffalo Barclay, there's a flavor for just about everybody. If you already live in the South, you're probably familiar with popular chains like Whataburger and Waffle House. Whataburger is a burger place, Waffle House is a classic breakfast place. There's not much to say here you don't already know. I just wanted to mention these so that you know Mobile has several of each of them. Actually, I think we have more Waffle Houses than we have McDonald's. I personally like Whataburger's honey butter chicken biscuit, which can be enjoyed during breakfast time, but the burgers aren't really my first choice. We also have both Texas Roadhouse and Longhorn Steakhouse. As you can probably guess, both of these are right across the street from each other, like they are in most cities. We have a local steakhouse that I want to recommend to you later, but I'm going to get through all these bigger chains first. Now, if you've ever been to the Midwest, you might be familiar with restaurants such as Freddy's and Culver's. I'm happy to report that both of these restaurants have made their way recently to Mobile. Freddy's actually started in the city that I was raised in Kansas, so it was always a favorite of mine, and I was really excited to see it move down here. Now, I will say, the Freddy's in Saraland isn't quite as good as I remember the Freddy's being in Kansas, but fingers crossed for improvements. BJ's Brewhouse is another notable chain that has a presence in in Mobile. My favorite part about BJ's isn't even their meal options, it's actually their bazookies. These are sort of like deep dish cookies that they often serve with a scoop of ice cream on top. The coolest part is that these famous cookies are only $3 a piece if you come on Tuesdays, and trust me, they are worth it. A little bonus hack, if you sign up for their rewards program, you'll actually get a free bazooki on your birthday. The last big chain I included on our list is my wife's favorite, Cava. If you aren't familiar with it, Cava is a fast, casual Mediterranean place which offers fresh and customizable meal options. The menu includes build-your-own bowls, salads, and pita wraps. Their focus is really on fresh ingredients, including hummus, harissa, tzatziki, and grilled proteins. Cava is really known for blending traditional Mediterranean recipes with more modern flavors. If this sounds interesting to you, our Cava can be found right on Airport Boulevard. Buffalo Wild Wings, Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, Cracker Barrel, Steak and Shake, and Moe's Original Barbecue are all places you know, you love, and we have them in Mobile. They will be on the tier list so you can get an idea of where the local places fall, but I don't want to spend too much more time talking about them here. Okay, so hopefully you get an idea of all the major chains that we host here in Mobile. But where our food scene really shines is in the small local businesses. Let's start with the Italian restaurants that we host in Mobile. Via Emilia is a tiny restaurant which is located close to South Alabama. In full disclosure, I've only personally been here one time, but when I went, it was super good. I haven't been back because it is pretty pricey. This place is a little bit more on the high end, so I could recommend it for birthdays, special occasions, and anniversaries. I really like Via Emilia's feel because it's set up in what used to be a tiny house. It feels kind of quaint, relaxed, and chill. The best way I can describe the atmosphere of Via Emilia is like going to a friend's house who knows how to cook really well. It just feels comfortable. And this place is so tiny and low-key that my wife and I actually drove by it for 4 years before we ever bothered to check it out. I would not recommend making the same mistake that we did. T. Marie's is another great local Italian place. If you're looking for a more affordable option from Via Emilia while still getting great, authentic Italian food, this is your spot. I don't like the venue quite as much as I like Via Emilia's, but the food is just as good. A personal pet peeve of mine is when I go to an Italian place and I can tell that what I'm getting served is frozen bread and pre-made pasta. You can tell this is not the case by your first bite at T. Marie's. Continuing in this Italian vein of thought, there are 3 pizza places that I would recommend you visit if you're in Mobile. Sim's House of Pizza is a great visit if you find yourself in Northwest Mobile. All of the residents in Sims absolutely swear by this place. Now, I personally really like the hot honey pizza there. This isn't some groundbreaking discovery or anything, but I just didn't realize that honey and pepperonis go so well together. Similar to T. Marie's, you can tell that everything on the menu at Sim's House of Pizza is fresh and authentic. Now, it would be a huge mistake for me not to mention their ranch. Now, I hear ya. I am really not a ranch on my pizza sort of guy, but it is so good here. They make their ranch from scratch and it has this thick, garlicky flavor. And honestly, it's probably my favorite part about Sim's House of Pizza. I have friends that go out to eat here just to buy their house-made ranch. If you end up going here, please, please, please don't make the mistake of not getting a side of ranch with your food. If you're not interested in driving all the way up to Sims, Lost Pizza Co. is a more centrally located pizza place, which might be a better fit for you. Lost has a really neat vibe both inside the building and out. It's located on a very walkable street in Midtown, which makes it feel kind of neighborly and suburban. Inside the building, it's kind of hip and artsy, which make for a really fun atmosphere. They have a wide range of pizza options, and I would say on average, the crust is thicker than at Sim's House of Pizza. This isn't necessarily better, just different preferences. Now, both of these pizza places are great, but Mellow Mushroom is the best. A little story time. When I moved to Mobile, I waited so long to try Mellow Mushroom. My wife pleaded with me to go. She said it was so good, but my stubborn heart would not listen, and I just didn't want to try something new. I deeply regret how long it took me to make my way here. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. This is my favorite place in all of Mobile, and you will see it on the S tier later in our tier list. It's a somewhat popular chain, but I had to give it a specific shout out here. Now, if you're feeling a more brunch or breakfast place, there are 2 options that I think might be a good fit for you. Big Bad Breakfast is located on Old Shell Road, and this place just screams Southern cuisine. It's fresh, it's made well, you'll enjoy it. The other breakfast spot I would recommend is the Ruby Slipper. This place is good. It's located in downtown and has this kind of diner feel, which is really fun and extravagant. My beef with a lot of breakfast places is oftentimes when I go, I kind of feel like I can make most of the stuff they give me at home. Eggs are really hard for me to mess up, and I don't really struggle to make pancakes, but the Ruby Slipper takes breakfast food to another level. If you want great breakfast food, go here. Okay, since we're a city located on the water, you can probably guess that we have really good seafood places. I'm gonna simplify this long list into just 3 options that I think you could try. The first of these places is Bonefish. This place is great. It's got steak, seafood, bread. It's not the most authentic seafood you might ever have, but everything is prepared well. I've never gone to Bonefish and had a bad experience. Its dimly lit, well-decorated interior make it perfect for special occasions. It's a little pricey, but I think it's decently worth it. The second seafood place you should try is Craver's. I would consider this place a lot less high-end than the other seafood places, but it's a lot cheaper, which is nice. They always give you tons of food. I have never walked away from Craver's feeling hungry. I would personally recommend getting their pick 2 or their pick 3. These give you a wide range of options of things that they have on the menu. My personal favorite foods here are the crab cakes and their popcorn shrimp. Also, they serve all the food here in these little paper boats, which is just kind of a fun little touch. It kind of makes you feel like you're at a picnic. Opposite this casual feel is the fine dining experience that you will have at Felix's. This is the most authentic and delicious seafood place you'll find in Mobile. Now, everything you get here is delicious, but I personally prefer their crab stuffed fish. As you might know, my wife grew up in Mobile, but I actually didn't. So it's somewhat ironic that on my very first visit here, I tried Felix's, and my wife tried it for the first time this year. Don't make the same mistake my wife did. If you live in Mobile, go try Felix's, and if you're visiting here, make sure you make it a priority stop. Now, I've talked a lot about other restaurants' atmosphere, but Felix's is unbeaten. Pretty much anywhere you sit at Felix's, you get a stunning view of Mobile Bay and our city's skyline. Now, this is going to sound really weird and kind of obvious, but a really neat touch about Felix's is that they bring and place your food all at the same time. And I'm not talking about bringing the food on some like big tray with one server all at once like most places do. What I mean is that they get a server for every single member of your party, and all of them place the plates all at once right in front of you in one synchronized movement. Quite literally, everyone has their food all at once. Now, I know this sounds silly, but it is really cool to me to see a place so focused on details. Also, personally, a big pet peeve of mine is when I go out to eat, I pay for a meal, and my food is given to me either way before or way after the rest of my parties. Since they have this discipline, this never happens at Felix's. They have never messed up my order, and I have never had a bite of cold food here. If you try no other place in Mobile, you've got to try Felix's. Now, if you're like me and you have a monthly urge to gorge on Chinese, sushi, or hibachi, Mobile has a plethora of beloved options. Sakura, which is located in Sims, is a favorite of several of my friends and I. It's a Japanese steakhouse which is located with hibachi, sushi, and more. The best way that I can describe Sakura to you is reliably good. Every time I go to Sakura, they give me plenty of food, they take good care of me, and I always leave happy. It isn't quite as good as some of the other places I'm about to cover, but this is easily forgivable by how inexpensive this place is. If you go at lunchtime, you can get the whole hibachi experience for under $13. That includes the flipping, the jokes, the shrimp catching, all of it. I have never paid that little for hibachi anywhere else. However, you should be warned, like a lot of places, it's more expensive at dinner time. Shogun is another great Japanese steakhouse. It's located in West Mobile, right off Airport Boulevard. Shogun is slightly higher in quality to Sakura, but it's significantly more expensive. The prices aren't unfair. Actually, they're kind of normal. Sakuras are just really, really good. The atmosphere at both places is pretty similar. If anything, Shogun feels slightly more authentic, but not by much. Honestly, I would recommend each of these places to different people based on whatever budget you're working in. The last restaurant I wanted to hit in our Asian cuisine category is Seaweed Roll. I'll keep this simple. If you love sushi, you need to try this place. I have never seen an all-you-can-eat sushi place, but Seaweed Roll does it, and they do it well. Seaweed Roll has tons of options to choose from on their menu, and if you don't like anything they give you, you can just order something else. The experience at Seaweed Roll is kind of interesting. When you walk inside, they'll give you a menu and a pen. You simply mark all the items that you want, and 15 minutes later, you're enjoying a mountain of sushi. Now, I'll be honest, I'm really not a connoisseur of sushi, but this place always tastes good to me. It's also really nice to get to try a bunch of different rolls and not have to pay $10, $15, $20 for each one. If you go at lunch, it's about $16. That's pretty much the price of one big roll at another place. The only downside of Seaweed Roll is I've never left Seaweed Roll without my stomach hurting from how full I am. Then this next category of restaurants doesn't actually share a similar food type, but they can all be enjoyed just blocks away from each other in downtown Mobile. Squid Ink is a popular eclectic restaurant which serves burgers, salads, po' boys, and seafood. It's dimly lit, which makes it great for nicer nights out, but it's decorated in a way that also would make it good for a casual lunch spot too. In the same vein, Loda Beer Garden also serves burgers and sandwiches. I would consider Loda Beer Garden more casual than Squid Ink, but not by too much. Part of this is due to its location, which is a much much more busy corner of downtown. In my opinion, of these two places, Loda Beer Garden has the better burger. Now, if neither of these places interest you and you want to go super high end for a date night, you can make your way all the way up to the 34th floor of the Trustmark building and enjoy a nice evening at Dauphins. This place is super expensive, but super worth it. Even if you go to Dauphins just to get a dessert, it's a great place to enjoy live music, look at the view of the city, and live in elegance. Speaking of being on top, Greer's, which is barely a restaurant, and I wouldn't consider it very popular, is a really neat spot to take family and friends if you want to wow them for something different. Okay, so let me break this down. Greer's is a supermarket, and similar to other supermarkets like Publix, they cook their own foods like burgers and sandwiches there. However, they differ from Publix in their venue. Greer's boasts a beautiful rooftop experience which hosts local artists who play out into the open air. The soft lighting and downtown location make the atmosphere of Greer's immaculate. My wife and I went here for the first time just a couple months ago, and I have never had such a fun time with friends. The coolest part about Greer's is you can go on a night that they have music, grab a soda, and just head upstairs and listen to the music for free. It costs nothing. Now, the food here is pretty good. It's nothing really to write home about, but it'll fill you up and it's not too expensive. These last two places I would recommend downtown are for totally different occasions. Let's say you find yourself strolling across downtown and you're just looking for a light and simple lunch spot. The Cheese Cottage is your place. The best way I can describe the feel of the Cheese Cottage is like a peaceful Sunday afternoon. Families all together, no one's at work, everyone's happy. It's kind of what it feels like here. I think this is probably because the only places to eat at the Cheese Cottage are actually outside. The Cheese Cottage has a lot of popular lunch options like sandwiches, soups, and charcuterie boards. I'm not going to say it'll rock your world, but if you're in the mood, I think you'll enjoy it. Our last downtown spot, Dropout Bakery, is a local sweets and treats shop which has a variety of really good breakfast options. So Dropout Bakery is connected to Innovation Portal downtown, which is a sort of blend of work/event space. Dropout is really cool because they have a lot of handmade items of things that you really can't get anywhere else in Mobile. I personally love their Pop-Tarts. Dropout Bakery is locally owned, and I actually helped the owner's mother buy her first house. You could add Dropout Bakery as the dessert follow-up to any of the date locations that you go on. I'd highly recommend it. You won't be disappointed. Okay, we have 4 more restaurants that I think would be just a good visit if you're here in Mobile. I couldn't find a cohesive category for these last ones, so we're just going to call them the other options. Vandals is an eclectic restaurant which blends Asian and Latin food. Located right on Airport Boulevard, this place is central and it's great if you want to try something new. Now, some restaurants don't have a ton of character inside. You can kind of tell it's rented out space. This is anything but true of Vandals. The whole interior is decorated from head to toe in graffiti matching its name. It's almost overstimulating when you walk in at first, but once your eyes have time to adjust, you begin to admire some of the beauty of the art that's on the walls. If you continue out west and you get to the intersection of Schillinger and Airport, Wimo's Wings is a great Wingstop spot. There isn't much to report on here, but if you like good quality wings, this is your spot. If you're into Mexican food, there are options down here like Aztecas and Pedro's. These are pretty much your run-of-the-mill Tex-Mex places, but a more unique option you might try is Taco Mama. This is a smaller local Mexican chain. They have a couple of locations from Midtown to Airport Boulevard. Something I really like about Taco Mama is that they have these large garage doors which take up a lot of the walls, and if the weather is right, they open them, which elevates the atmosphere a ton. The food here is pretty good. I typically get the chicken bowl. It's really nice because they actually let you put anything you want on the menu in it, including queso and guacamole, which a lot of places upcharge you for. Okay, I told you earlier we were going to talk about one more local steakhouse, and gosh darn it if I don't keep my word. Briquettes is a small chain with a couple of locations in the Mobile area. Briquettes serves very similar food options to Longhorn Steakhouse and Texas Roadhouse. The biggest differences you need to know about these locations is their atmosphere. Texas Roadhouse feels kind of like a party. It's great for birthdays and large parties, and Longhorn Steakhouse feels more elegant. It's great for first dates or maybe a formal business lunch. I would say Briquettes falls a lot closer to the formal side with Longhorn. I wouldn't say it's more elegant, but it feels a little bit more mature. There's not a lot of sports apparel on the walls. The restaurant is kept to a low buzz, and there's minimal TVs to entertain. It's not dimly lit like Longhorn's. The space kind of lends itself well to wedding parties, special events, and larger gatherings. If I were to rate these restaurants, it would honestly probably be a 3-way tie. They all make great quality food, and they each have kind of their pluses and minuses. I think the biggest difference in choosing between these locations is the occasion. All right, if you've made it this far in this video, we're going to be going into the tier list portion. It's going to be a lot less formal. There won't be any neat animations or cuts or anything. I might cut here and there just if I ramble a little too much. But we're going to try to get through this. We have 37 restaurants here, and I want to just give you kind of the best idea of which ones I think would be worth a visit and which maybe you could skip. Starting here, what is this? This Big Bad Breakfast. That was the kind of average breakfast place. I would say, so B is not average. I would say B is good. C is average, D is below average. That's kind of the way I'm doing it. So it's below average, C is good, C is average, B is good, A is great, S is incredible, right? So I'm going to give this a average. It's not anywhere you need to try. It's a good addition to our space, but it's not something that, you know, you have to make it there. BJ's, okay, I'm going to give this one a good because of the Pizookies, but this is the one with those cookies. It's really good, and I think it's a staple. It's a lot of fun, but the food there is not incredible by any means. Like, it's not like you have to go try what the meals or anything, and it's kind of expensive other than the Pizookies, which are $3 on Tuesdays, which again, I would highly recommend that. So I would put it in a good category, but not great. Okay, Bonefish. This is a really good one. This is a great place to eat. Again, it's not S tier. It's not like the best or anything, but it's a really good seafood option if you make it up there. Let's do all the steakhouses at once that way. So we have Briquettes here, which is the local steakhouse. And then we have Longhorn and Texas Roadhouse. So I'm going to actually put these all in the great category. There's Longhorn. Where's my Texas Roadhouse at? This is it right here. All right, so these three, again, like I said earlier, it's kind of hard to rate them, to separate these, because they all have really good quality food, and you know, they've got good stuff. It just kind of depends on the occasion that you want. I think that's good. I'm gonna say Buffalo Wild Wings is good. I wouldn't say it's incredible. I'd say it's B. It's good. Cava I'm gonna put as average, and it's for me personally, it's average. It's not anything incredible. I will say their food is not something you can make yourself, unless you're a really talented cook. So that's good, but it's just not my flavor, my personal taste. Chick-fil-A, I'm going to put as good. You know, it's fast food, so it's not going to be, you know, the highest quality in the world, but it's good fast food. It's good. I'm going to land chicken salad chicken the same spot on good. It's good fast food. It's not like a must all the time, but it's got some good variety. I think Chipotle also fits well in that category. A lot of good stuff. It's all good. Nothing incredible, but they're these huge chains at this point, and they've, you know, time has shown that they're good. This might be a little unpopular. I'm actually gonna put Cracker Barrel in the great category. This might just be a personal thing for me. I have a lot of really good memories at Cracker Barrel, and I just love their atmosphere. It just feels like a family-oriented restaurant, and in our culture, I don't know, today it just seems like everything's moving away from the family, and I just like their atmosphere. I like the store element of it. I think the quality across most Cracker Barrels is really good. So yeah, and our Cracker Barrel's good. It's really good. We have a couple of them, and they're all good. Dauphines, ooh, this one's tough. Because one side of me, it is great. I'm teetering between S and A. It's great, but it's pricey. It's great food, but the bang for your buck is kind of what I'm teetering on. Is it worth it? The view is incredible. If there was a spot between A and S, it would fit comfortably there. I'll put it in S tier. It's great food. It's great food, and the view is incredible. They have live music there a lot. It's really good, really good. That's the one that's on the 34th. That's on the 34th floor of the Trustmark building, and that's the tallest building in Mobile. So you're getting a view like no other. This tiny one here is Dropout Bakery. That's the little bakery in downtown. The owner's mom helped her buy a house, and yeah, that's a really sweet spot. It's kind of trendy, which is fun, and the food's good. So I'm gonna put it in the A tier. It's good. Foosackly's, I think fits pretty comfortably in the great category. Man, I know that puts it above Chick-fil-A and Chipotle and Buffalo Wild Wings, but I think its localness just kind of, I don't know, when you go somewhere you want to try the local food and you want to see what they have, and it's kind of the underdog sort of thing. But yeah, I would say it's great food. This is Greer's. That's the supermarket that has the place on top. I'm putting it in the B tier, not because it's hard. It's hard with this stuff because it's all about the reason you're going. If you're going for an atmosphere, this place is like incredible. I mean, it really is. It's got like super soft lighting, and I mean, it's just a really intimate, sweet space. And the supermarket's cool. Like, it's a cool little market too. So it's good, but it's hard because these are restaurants, and when you're competing against restaurants, it's not, it's not the best place to eat out. And I wouldn't say you have to go if you're in Mobile. This is Low to Beer Garden. I would say this is great. This is this would fit comfortably between A and B. I wouldn't consider it quite as good as maybe Bonefish, but it's really good, and the atmosphere is neat there. Lost Pizza Co. I'm gonna put at C. It's average. It's more of the location's neat, but it's not really something you like. If it's your first trip to Mobile, I wouldn't say you have to go there. If you live in Mobile and you're looking for somewhere new, it might be a good one for you. Okay, I already told you this one. Mellow Mushroom's going all the way on the top, and that would be a double S tier because it's that good. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. The pizza is just next level. I mean, it really is. I'm a big pizza fan. I love pizza. It might be my favorite food. I like Italian food in general, but there's something really special about the way Mellow Mushroom does their pizza. It's kind of personal, but you can also do it like as a table. And there are other pizza options in Mobile, like Blaze Pizza, which is kind of like almost Subway for pizza. You can make your own pizza, and Mod Pizza, which is essentially they're the exact same restaurant, in my opinion. Mellow Mushroom, to me, you pay like $1 or $2 more, and the quality is like 1,000 times better. And I love saving money when we go out to eat, but to me, it's always worth it at Mellow Mushroom. Like every dime is worth it at Mellow Mushroom. It's so good. Cane's, so this is tough because, okay, so Cane's, I'm gonna do Cane's and Zaxby's at the same time. I should have done them at the same time I did Foosackly's. So Foosackly's is in the great category. Man, this is tough. I would say Cane's for me is equal. This could get me in a lot of trouble. I would say Cane's is equal to Foosackly's. The Cane's tenders are a little bit juicier. They're a little bit more. But Foosackly's makes their own sauce in the house, which is really cool. The sweet tea is really good. I would say the toast at Cane's is a little better, but Foo is cheaper and it's local. Again, some of these local places just have an edge because you kind of have that pride of, this is your town. So I would say they're pretty close, and they serve pretty similar food. But Foosackly's, I would say, slightly less in quality, but cheaper. And again, that could get me in a lot of trouble, so I'm just going to stop there. Ruby Slipper, I would say, is great. It's a great breakfast spot. They make really high-quality breakfast. Sakura, I would say, is good. It's really good hibachi. Its main draw is the inexpensive nature of it. Yeah, I think it fits well in that good category. Taco Mama, I think, also fits... it's in between C and B. I'm gonna say it's C, mainly because of the price. It's pretty pricey, and it's also a bar, which, if you're a family and you want a more family-friendly atmosphere, it might not be your spot. And it's not like, there's a ton of people drinking all the time or anything, but there's definitely drinking. Oh shoot, I forgot to do Zaxby's. Where's Zaxby's? Here it is. Okay, Zaxby's is a D for me. To me, it hits the worst spots of both Foosackly's and what's the other one? Raising Cane's. It hits the worst parts of both of those. Again, this can get me in a lot of trouble, but this is my opinion. I've had cold food at Zaxby's quite a bit. It's just not incredible quality to me. On top of that, it's more expensive than Foosackly's. It's probably about the same as Cane's, but I don't know. I don't find the value in it. I'm almost always going to choose Foosackly's or Cane's over Zaxby's. So Seaweed Roll for me is an A tier. It's great. I wouldn't consider it S tier, but it's great. Felix's is S tier for sure. That's a really, really good one. To me, Mellow Mushroom and Felix's, if you visit Mobile for a day, just do Mellow Mushroom and Felix's. Like those are the two places you eat lunch and dinner, because those places they're incredible. And Felix's is cool because since it has such a beautiful view of the bay, you actually get kind of a cool, like, different vibe for lunch and dinner. During dinner, they bring out like candles and stuff, and it's really pretty. During lunch, you get kind of a better view of the bay because it's sunny out, and that's really neat. There's really not a bad time to go eat at Felix's. It's really high quality stuff. This is This is Shogun. I'm gonna put Shogun in the same one as Sakura because, again, like I said, this is kind of taking all of it into consideration. If it were just quality, it would be slightly above Sakura. But since it's quality, location, it's all of it, and the price, I think Sakura and Shogun fit really well together because one of them is cheaper and not quite as good, but one of them is significantly more expensive and a little better. Yeah, I think they fit well next to each other. This is Squid Ink. I know you can't see some of these logos. Squid Ink is the one downtown. It's kind of eclectic. I would say this is average. I wouldn't say it's great. it's pretty average. Steak and Shake for me is average. It's not bad. It's good stuff. It's just I'm never craving it or anything like that. Tea Marie's I would say is good. It's a good place to eat. It's a good spot. I wouldn't say it's great. They make high quality food, but I wouldn't say it's something that I crave on a daily basis or anything like that. I would also say the same for the Cheese Cottage. I think it's good. It's good stuff. I wouldn't say it's incredible, but if you are itching for sandwiches, soups, that sort of thing, that's the spot I would go to every time. So it's great in that respect. But Vandals, I would say is great. It's a great place to eat. Actually, I want to say good. I'm gonna say good for Vandals. The main thing about Vandals is it's located like it's located on Airport Boulevard, which is a really busy street, and it's just it's not super immersive when you're inside. Obviously, like the art and stuff is beautiful in there, and it's really cool, but it kind of feels busy, like not busy inside, but busy like that close to airport. And there's other places that are close to airport that do a better job of not feeling that way. It's probably because the building is facing airport and it's not like very far offset from the street. So yeah, I think Vandals for me personally, between the vibe, it's good, but it's not great. It's close to great, but it's not quite there. Via Amelia, I'm gonna say is great. Yeah, I think the atmosphere pushes it a little higher than Tea Marie's. It's a little bit more expensive. I think it's worth it. I think that's a great place to eat. Waffle House, I would say, is good. It's a good place to eat. Wemo's Wings, I'm gonna say is average. It's not bad. It's just you're not really getting much special there. If you just are interested in local places, this place is great because Wemo is West Mobile. That's what it stands for, West Mobile. It's a good spot if you're looking for that sort of thing. Whataburger, oh man, this is gonna get me in a lot of trouble. I'm gonna put Whataburger in the D category. It kind of falls in between C and D. It's not quite as bad as Zaxby's for me, but honestly, I prefer McDonald's to Whataburger's burgers, which is not a good sign. I think its price just kind of kill it for me. I just can't get behind paying as much as I do for their burgers, and the quality just to me isn't worth it. Like if you're gonna pay $7 or $8 for a burger, why not pay 9 or 10 and get an actual burger at a sit-down restaurant? Yeah, I feel okay with that. Sorry if that offends you. I hope we can still be friends. Sim's House of Pizza, I'm gonna put that in A. That's a really good place to eat. It's a really sweet place because I think it embodies Sims well. I live over in Sims, and man, it's just cool to see. It seems like such a community-oriented restaurant. It feels like a hometown restaurant, despite being in the city of Mobile. And I mean, Sims is technically a different city, but it's really cool to see that kind of hometown feel with it. It just feels like a restaurant that's there for the community, which is really neat. Yeah, this is my tier list. I'm pretty happy with this. Obviously, like I wanted to keep the S tier smaller because I wanted to keep only the very best in the S tier. Those three places, if you went to those three places in your visit in Mobile, I think you'd be really happy. Yeah, I think you'd be really happy. A fourth runner-up for me would probably be either Sim's House of Pizza or maybe Briquettes if you're in Mobile. If you would like this tier list, just for reference of places that you want to try, leave a comment in the description below and I will send it to you via email. Yeah, I hope this helped. Obviously, there were a lot of places I missed in this list, but hopefully this gives you a good general guide of what we have here in Mobile. If there's anything else I can do for you, as always, please feel free to reach out to me. My number and email are in the description below. Now, all these restaurants are on the western side of Mobile Bay, but there are a couple restaurants that I think you might like on the eastern side of the bay. Check out this video and I'll give you a full guide of Fairhope, Alabama, and some of the best food options that they have. I'll see you there.